Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone out there on the internet. And I hope I don't get any trouble of copyright for using that little bit of that wonderful song by Billy Idol that inspired our title. This is, of course, Lancing with Myself, the 5-minute weekly show where I, Steve D from Tin Star Games, talk about being a game designer and freelance creative when you are low on spoons and low on cash. And today we are getting near the end of this podcast. Yes, I'm actually going to stop soon for a variety of reasons. So today I want to talk about how do you know when to stop doing something. We've talked a little bit about that back when we were talking about the why and wherefores and why you keep doing things. But it is really important to stop, and there's lots of reasons to do it. And the really big secret is you're allowed to stop, right? You don't have to keep making games over and over again. You don't have to keep making the same game over and over again. And you're allowed to get bored of making your game. That's what being an artist is about. Artists is always looking for challenges and new stories to tell. And often when we're making games, we're playing those games over and over and over again as we play test, as we build them, as we show them to people, as we market them. Boy, is it easy to get bored of your games. And you should get bored of your games if you're doing this properly. If you're running them millions of times, you should get bored. And you're allowed to get bored. You're an artist. You're constantly looking for new things to do and stories to tell. You also don't want to repeat yourself. I've been looking back through my videos to make sure I haven't repeated myself when I'm making up topics. So that's a good sign as well. That today is it's getting time to stop. If I am not constantly getting fresh ideas, and then obviously it's time to maybe stop going to that well. And as I said back in the why video, this has sort of served its purpose. And now it's out there and we can move on. And there's a beauty in stopping. I mean, that's the thing, is that it's very, very easy to fuss over projects. And it's only when we finish them that they sort of really belong to the world. Even ongoing ones. It's really important at some point to stop, because that's when they are finished and they're complete. There's an amazing episode way at the start of The Simpsons, possibly even the first series, where Marge goes to learn to paint, and John Lovitz, the amazing comedian, plays her very, very supportive art teacher. And he's really encouraging it. He's talking to one of the artists, and he's like, "Oh, just no, wait, not another stroke. Well, maybe one more. Now stand back. Now it belongs to the ages." And what he's so very right about is that when you stop and stand back, it belongs to the world. And you get to rest. It's very easy as an artist not to do that, to fuss. Game design is so much of an iterative process that it never actually ends. You can sit down with another players and go, "Oh, yeah, hang on, I missed that." Because there's no actual sort of deadline, there's no end to this process of things that are going to catch more and more players. You can't make a game that is going to be perfectly smooth and perfectly clear to every person on Earth. Your rulebook's going to have errors, your cards are going to have unclear directions, you're going to see little ways you can improve, and it's so easy to get fussy and to go, change that. But if you keep doing that, you don't end it. And ending is the most important thing. Ending is that wonderful moment where it finally stops being inside you and lets go. Art is a process of tearing ideas out of your skull, and it's a long, lengthy process, and it takes inches and inches and to pull these things out of you as you sort of pour them down on the page, and it never feels like it's ending, because there's always something more to come and something more to add. And unless you end, you never actually let go of that. You never disconnect from that process, which means it's never quite a finished product. It's still part of that transmission process of coming out of you. But that's not art. Art is something that is finished, that is cut off from you and given to others. And that allows you to look back at it and go, "Oh, that was something I did. And now I'm free and I get to go and do something else." And that is what is the final piece of making art. It's not just about the process, although you should love it. It's not just about the beginning and the idea. It's not just about putting it out there. It's also about finishing it and just going, "It's done." Now, that doesn't mean that the game isn't going to change or in terms of what the audience does with it. Sometimes that can be miraculous. You can put it out and maybe nobody will care. Maybe it'll get forgotten, or maybe like Among Us, which was put out 2 years ago, and then this year has suddenly had a massive resurgence. But that's up to the audience to decide. You did it, you made it, you perfected it, you put it out there. You're still attached to it. It's still, yours. but it belongs to the history now. It belongs to time. And that freedom not only lets you see the artwork clearer, but it allows the audience to interact with it better, and it allows you to understand what you did and move forward and look back properly and understand the whole process from start to finish. You just gain all this clarity and you gain all this perspective because now you're no longer attached. And that is really the strange process of art, is something starts in our heads and then it streams out, and there's this long pizza cheese analogy that is just stretching out of our brain and never quite done. So you got to eat your pizza with a knife and fork now and then, cut off that cheese and go, here it is. Here's this thing I've separated from myself, and that makes it complete. It is the letting go, the finishing, that makes it art. And you can step back and it belongs to the world. So don't forget to finish. Whatever it is, if it takes a time deadline or a product deadline or a number of words or something, just go, you know what? This is it. This is the moment. This is the end. Because when you end, you triumph. That's the key for today. Make sure, once you start, that when you get to the end, stop, as Lewis Carroll said. Till next time, I've been Steve D. Keep making games, keep patting dogs, keep playing games. I think I said that one of the games. Be good, play games, pat dogs, have fun. See you next time.